Hi, my name is Daria from Neville Design, and I will be showing you how to create a medium large rose. Here she is. Before we get started, I wanted to go over the supplies that we need to create this flower. So first off, you will need a pair of scissors. You'll also need a pencil. You will need a glue stick or a thick straw or something of this thickness because we will be curling our petals with it. You'll also need templates that you got from me, and you will need paper. This is 9 by 12, but templates can also be used on 8 by 11 paper. And lastly, you will need a glue gun. Mine's a little bit messed up, but still works great. All right, let's get started. I'll put that away for a second. So with our 2 petals that we have, our templates, we will start with the first one. It should have a 1 on it. And we are going to trace it on our paper. So grab about 8 sheets of paper and we're going to trace on all of them. So just grab your pencil and just trace it on your paper. Just like that. Then you could do just 2 sheets of paper just so we could save some time. Just begin cutting it out. Just toss that away, we won't be needing that. You should have 2 petals. Now do the same thing for 4 pieces of paper, and then 4 more. You should have 8 total using the number 1 template. So you should have 4 of the same size. We're going to put them together and we're going to make a shape. So just put this away. Grab your first 2 petals and we're going to add some glue right in the middle. We're going to create a box right there. Just a perfect little box. Grab your glue gun, add some glue here. Just like that. Something like this. We're just gluing it, and then we're going to grab the other 2 that we cut. Add some glue. And create another box right there, leaving just some gapping right there, just all the way down. And then for the last petal, we're just doing the same thing. Leaving just the little gaps here. Perfect. It should look like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a box right in the middle. So fold them all back. Now we're going to take the ends and we're going to put them together. Alright, so put your finger right there. Kind of hot dog it. So it's going to turn into like a little hot dog. You can see that close up there. I'm going to collapse them together. And then it's going to turn into a cone. Just kind of hold it with your hands. Just kind of like that, leaving a little hole in the middle. Now hold that together, just like that. Then we're going to take our glue gun. We're going to add some glue on the little edges. Careful because the glue gun is really, really hot. Add some glue here too. Just glue that there. So it should look something like this. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to add some glue right here. And we're going to kind of fold it. Using your finger, kind of just to give it a little shape. Leaving some space right there. Just glue that there. Perfect. Should look like this. Now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Just a little line of glue is fine. Just make sure it kind of holds it together. Use your fingers, just leave a little space right here. It's going to look like this. Perfect. So then grab your second pair that you cut. So it should be 2 sets of 4 that we're gluing together using the first template, or the first petal of the template. Now we're just going to do the same thing as we did earlier. Add some glue, just create a box in the center. Perfect. And then just add glue right in the middle. We're going to put the center we just made right there. Just like that. Now wherever the edge of the petal left off, that's where we're going to start gluing first. So you can see that it's a little bit narrow. We're just going to try to round it up a bit. So we're going to take these two, we're going to fold them together. Just add a little strip of glue. Use your finger and just kind of basically hug it out. Leaving a little bit in between. It's going to look like this. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Just on the sides there. Kind of make sure the glue is on there pretty good. We don't want it to collapse on us. It's already taken its form of the center of a rose, which is very, very beautiful. Now we're just going to do the same thing on the other sides. Leaving a little bit of space in between. It's going to look like this. Wonderful. So we're going to put that aside because we just created our rose center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper once again, and we're going to take our second template. We're going to trace it. This is the one where we're going to curl the sides. You could do in twos, you could do one sheet, whatever you'd like, depending on the thickness of your paper. And just begin cutting it out. If you're wondering why there's two petals for this template, the difference is the lower part, because we're going to be using this part that's kind of sticking out instead of the first one, because we're going to be gluing that. So it's much easier to make a form when there's a little extra space. It'll be worth it in the end. All right, so you will need about 6 sets of 4. So you should have 4 petals in one, and you will need 6 piles. Ooh. Just to save some time. So there's 4 pieces curled. Now I'll show you how to do that in just a moment, just so you know how much paper we will be using. There is 32 sheets of paper that will be used to create this rose. So we're going to put that away. Just be using this. So I'll show you how to curl your petal. Grab your glue stick and grab your petal. We're just gonna grab it on the edge here, and we're gonna just curl it back like this. Not all the way fully, just in the middle there. It's gonna look like that. Do the same thing on the opposite corner. Just grab it right here and just kind of roll it back. All right. Just like that. And you'll be curling all of them like that, because that will be the outside of the rose. So once you have curled all your petals, we will start with the first 3 sets of 4. Okay. So let's start with our first one. We're going to create a box. Add some glue. Same thing we've been doing. Actually leave a little bit of a space here, just so there's at least some gapping in between the petals. Try to get as much gapping as I could. There you go. Perfect, that's how it should look like. It can be movable. And then we're going to take our center, we're going to glue it right in the middle. Make sure where the little corners end off, we're gonna put it on the outside of the petal. So the first ones we just glued. Make sure they're facing them. So we use these ones and then we added these because we're gonna be forming them together. Just because they're a little shorter than these ones, we don't leave much space in between them. And we're gonna form it. Wonderful. So grab your glue gun and we're gonna add glue right on the side there. So instead of putting it on this side, we're gonna put a little bit closer to the bottom. So add just a line of glue here and a line of glue there. I don't know if you could see it, or perhaps a little bit. Then we're just gonna kind of hug right around the rose center, leaving a little bit of a gapping right here. Just kind of hold it together. It should look like this. You can already kind of picture how it will look like. It's gonna be very beautiful, amazing results. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. Just add some glue on the bottom corners there. Try to use your finger a little bit to kind of just leave a little gap there. Wonderful. And same thing on the other side, just the corners. Should go almost to halfway of the petal. That's where I kind of stop my glue. Leaving a little bit of a gap. Just like that. Doing the same thing on the other side. Isn't it beautiful? Wonderful. So you can just put that away. We're just gonna do that with the other one, but this time we're gonna leave less and less space on the box. That way it'll be more bloomed. Just left maybe about this much space. Just like that. You can see there's a little bit of space right here. I'll do a similar space on the other side, just right here, a little bit of space. Once that's done, you could add some glue. What we did before from the last petal that we did, or the first petal that we started with, that's what we're going to glue first. And wherever there's a gap here, that's what we're going to start off with. So we're kind of following a pattern. Wonderful. And we're just going to do the same things. We're going to be adding glue on the corners. Kind of just hold it there. Make sure it stays. So this is the second set that we're using. second set out of 3 of the second template. The other 3 that I told you to cut out, we will be gluing it much differently. Just leave a little bit of gappings. Looks something like this. Put that aside. And this is going to be your last 3 that we cut out, or last 4. We're going to glue that together into 4s, and then the other 3 that I told you to cut out using the second template, we're not going to form it into this shape. We're actually going to be adding the petals to create its form and to cover the gappings. So leave a little bit of more space this time. So instead of maybe this small, we're going to be doing a little bit like this. Some glue in the center. I'm just going to start with these. Just make sure it's right in the middle. And then we're going to glue these sides. Leaving a little bit of gappings right here. Just make sure there's just gappings continuing a little more and more every time. Kind of put the corners right there. You have to use your whole hand. Kind of grab it. Just like this. Let's do the same thing here. Just continuing doing the same thing. Now, this is the gappings that I was talking about. We're going to be adding petals to cover these gappings here. Because 8x11 paper is very long, so it does not give us the roundest shape that we need. So we're going to take this, basically a form. Alright, so let's put the rose aside. And then the next 3 that I told you to cut out should be also in sets. Four petals. And we need 3 piles. Also curl using the second template. Second petal of the template. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the first four, and then we're gonna add glue right here on the box, and then we're going to put it right under the rose to cover the gap. All right, just like that. So this part, the box should be covered mostly. So add some glue. We're going to put it right where the gap is. Just like that. So that's how it should look. So we're going to cover the gap. Okay. Then we're going to add some glue in the corners. And we're just going to glue it, leaving that gap that we've been working on throughout the whole rose. And we're going to do that throughout the whole rose. Might look a little funny at first, but eventually it will look very bloomy. So the next gapping we see, there's 4 gaps. We're going to be covering all of them. Make sure that's glued on there. Add some glue in the corners. Just like this. See, you could see that there's a little bit more gappings, but that is why we have the others that we cut out. For now, we're just covering the few gaps that we have. So these are our next 2 gaps. We're just doing the same thing, just covering them up throughout the whole rose. Covering this gap here. So it should look something like this for now. Now we're going to take our other 4 that we cut out. We're going to cover the next gaps. Add some glue there. We're just going to cover also the whole side of the box, just to make it even throughout. Glue on the side. You can kind of just start gluing side by side. You can use your whole hand to shape it, just leaving some space. The petals are actually becoming much flatter at the bottom, so I kind of just like to kind of just glue it on the back of the other petals, leaving just a little bit of a bend here. Like this. So now we're just going to go around the whole rose and we're going to cover the gappings around.
You can keep going. I just started it again. How did you know?
I heard it. Is it filming?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll cut that out.
Yeah.
Grab your...
Move it.
Grab your third petal, and we're going to cover the other two gaps with our remaining petals. So far, she looks something like this. And the last one, to cover the last gap, perfect, and this is how your rose should look. Now the reason why I made you cut the last 4 is if you want it to be more bloomed on the side, just to cover the extra space. If you're making your backdrop, you could always add 4 more, but this could also conclude your rose. It's still very beautiful, it's still very full, but we could always add more. I will show you right now how to cover the other gappings. So you just do the same thing, you just add just the bottom here, and it will basically just cover any extra space. In case you wanted a nice side view of the rose, you could do that as well. But you don't need to. But if you want to, I'm gonna just do it just in case you'll see the difference. I'll just do that quickly. And if you want to save paper, you don't have to do the last 4. So you could have, instead of 6 sets of 4, you could just only do 3. I'm sorry, I meant 3 sets of 5. You can see that it's just kind of just going all the way down, and at the bottom it might just look flat. Just a few more options on what you could do with your paper rose. I want to show as many different ways as possible. You could add more petals, you could add less, just depending what you're going for or how much paper you want to use. But just adding more petals is just covering most of the bottom area. So it's actually going to form into more of like a peony because everything is covered. So from the side it's going to look very beautiful, but if you're doing a collage of roses, it might not really make a difference because everything from the sides will be covered. So just adding extra petals won't be necessary. But you could if you'd like to. And you just continue to go throughout, do the same thing we've been doing. So this is how it would look like if we add an extra layer. So it's much more bloomy on the side, but it still looks very similar from the top. And you have your medium large rose. Thank you for watching.